Hello, many blessings to you out there. It's been a while since I've said hello, and I just have finally felt inspired to share something from a book that I've recently finished, except the epilogue. Um, Perfect Brilliant Stillness by David Kars. This is an amazing book. It's written by this man, David, who had pretty much a spontaneous awakening that happened within a few days. And then he wrote this book after he'd had so many people asking him questions on his experience and what his experience was after waking up. And I'm saying waking up to self-realization. He comes from the place of more the Advaita, and it's a beautiful thing. There's most of us are on a spiritual path of awakening, the ones who are choosing that, and we're doing the chopping wood, carrying water, moving slowly towards that realization that we already are fully awakened, that we already are God. And he's kind of done it in reverse. He had the awakening and then had to go seek out teachers to help him understand what had happened, what his realization was, and how to understand it, but also to understand it for himself, and then also be able to explain it to others when that came up. But I wanted to read something specifically in this book to you that really speaks to us who are on this sacred journey of awakening. And this is specifically about if you really want to wake up, what it requires, and is that really the path that you're choosing? And if so, you've got to be willing to do this. You've got to be willing to fully let go to wake up. And so I'll read it rather than me telling you more, and just see how it sits. See if this path of true awakening is really what you want. And if not, so be it. But rather than just playing it like a lot of people who I've spent time with, they speak of they want to awaken, and yet the way that they're choosing to dance is kind of in this muddied place of staying comfortably not awake. So here we go. So the quote first is by Krishnamurti, and then it goes into David speaking for another page and a half. So-called self-realization is the discovery for yourself, and by yourself there is no self to discover. That will be a very shocking thing. Why the hell have I wasted all my life? It's a shocking thing because it's going to destroy every nerve, every cell, even the cells in the marrow of your bones. I tell you, it's not going to be an easy thing. You have to become completely disillusioned. Then the truth begins to express itself in its own way. Krishnamurti. So, David continuing. If you're going to do anything, do this. First, figure out whether this waking up, this enlightenment, is really something you want. Do you really want to die? Do you really want for you, the you, not to exist, and for living to continue if it does, not as who you know and love as yourself, but as a hollow husk with impersonal consciousness blowing through it? If this is what you want, and in parentheses, how could you possibly? If this is what you want, then you are talking about waking up from the false dream of individuality. And then you can proceed. You're thinking, you're praying, you're thinking, you're praying, you're meditating, you're asking questions at the satsang. Whatever you do will be with realization that what you think, you are illusory. And with this intent of exploding, obliterating that illusion called you. Can you do this? Of course not. You is a dream character following its role in the dream. But who knows what the role calls for? If that role calls for this character to wake up, then it has to start somewhere, and that character may find itself engaging in things that will ultimately bring about its own death, not physical death. These are disposable containers. Look around. They're being recycled constantly. Rather real death, as real as death gets, death of the one who cares, that individual self. If you decide that what you really want is something other than this complete and ultimate waking up, then bless you. Have a wonderful life. Enjoy the incredible edible banquet of material, spiritual, and psychological and new age goodies that are out there. Grow and expand and change and develop and improve your life immeasurably. Evolve and become more mature and deeper and wiser and more beautiful. Discover your higher self and your higher purpose and fulfill them. I mean this absolutely sincerely. And even, I notice, with a touch of delicious wistfulness from what's left of the David thing. This is not in any way some kind of second-class status. There is no such thing. Take what the dream has to offer. That's what the dream's there for. To be enjoyed. Consciousness only enjoys it, only perceives it at all through the dream characters. And there you have to be some through. And there have to be some through which can be experienced enjoyment of the whole panoply of spiritual marketplace. It's a must. But in that case, if you choose that, don't come here talking about waking up. That just doesn't make any sense at all. So do you get it? Are you really choosing to wake up? And if you are, be honest and do it. Do what it takes. I confess that I've been on this path for well over a dozen years, and there was a dipping point where I wasn't doing really what needed to be done in order to fully wake up. I started courting what I needed to do in the world in order to cultivate a prosperous life while teaching yoga and meditation and doing life guidance. So I committed years to doing that. And during that time, even though I said my spiritual path was number one, it really was a kind of a number 1.5. And this takes everything. It requires a full letting go, a jumping off the cliff, a willing to die, dying to all your wants, dying to all your needs, dying to everything that this thing wants. It's not that you can't have any of those things, but you've got to die to having to have them. You've got to die in order to live. Live wholly, fully, consciously awake. And so if you are going to wake up, you've got to be willing to really die. And if you want to dance in the spiritual world and just play and dance in it, that's great. But as David says, do not claim that you want to wake up when you really just want to dance in the periphery. So this is a call to action. This is a call to really digging down deep and really looking at your choices honestly, looking at your path honestly, looking at yourself honestly. Do you really want to wake up? Do you really want to die? And if so, hop on. Do it 1,000%. But don't pretend that you're waking up in this dance of playing with desires and acting like, oh, I don't have to have that, but I'm just going to keep indulging. You've got to either let it all go, and whatever comes, comes, or just dance in it and play in it. And neither one is better or worse. I just wish us all a blessed journey on this. And it's a call to truth. Namaste to you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Many blessings.